Okay everyone, welcome back. So just that reminder that the dangers of thinking things are tips. I've set 2 exams. I'm not sure which is which at this stage. So what I want to do is I want to talk through the topics that I've covered and maybe draw your attention to the things that I think are important. Bearing in mind that it's important when you're answering a question is that you explain what you're writing and don't just regurgitate lists. Because it is, we want to understand the concepts of management information systems, apply critical analysis, assess the importance of technologies, and apply current critical analysis to current issues. So, think about those learning outcomes when you're covering topics. So, first thing to remember is that every company is a technology company in the modern world. So, if you're looking for examples, or if you're talking about the impact of technology on an industry, you can select just about a company from every industry you can imagine, and there'll be a technology aspect. But it's important that if you are picking one of those examples, that you focus on the technology aspect. And so what's really important for you to be aware of is the impact that technology has had on these industries, their value chain, the competitive environment they're in, but also the sort of jobs that are in that industry. So, you can talk about the impact of technology on the transport industry. So, you could be talking about automobile manufacturers, but you could also be talking about taxi drivers. So it is important that you show an awareness of the positive and negative impacts of IT. So another thing to be really important to remember is that IT is about more than technology. It's about the processes and the people and how they interact with technology. So just telling me about some particular new invention without discussing the impact that it has on organizational processes or people isn't enough. So first topic that was really important for us to focus about was, why do we need to have a knowledge of IT? So it's very important to consider about being the informed user, how technology can make us benefit more, improve our input, help us in our career, make us aware of new technology, and other things. But there's other impacts of technology and reasons why we have to do it. And you need to kind of drill into that and see what the societal, personal, and organizational importance of IT actually is. So if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, how can IT help you? What are the impacts it's going to have on your career? What are the impacts it has on the organization as a whole? So the actual impact of IT is very important. I would certainly consider, what the career impacts, and think about different careers. Don't just think about, careers in IT or professionals. Think about, the summer jobs you're doing, manual tasks, service jobs that could be done away with by automation, so really be prepared to think quite a lot about what kind of impact IT has on people. What's also important is to understand how the actual role of MIS and the management of IT in organizations has changed over the last number of years. So traditionally the MIS function was about keeping the lights on. They managed projects, supported computers, systems, did the training and whatever, whereas IT has actually moved central to the organization, and the management of IT has risen up the organization as much more important, much more strategic way. So it's a consultative strategic function of IS. It's often decentralized, incorporated into the business. So to be aware of how that role has changed, because if you're going to end up working as a business analyst or working with the IT function in an organization, it's imperative that you know what the role of the MIS department is. So, it is important to remember as well that this course is more than about technology. So the technology is the hardware, the software, the databases, the network, the processes that are the procedures and routines and practices that happen in an organization. And the employees, think about who could be actually using management information systems. It's not just employees, it's managers, it's suppliers, because we have inter-organizational IT systems. We have customers, auditors, huge numbers of people using these systems. So the purpose of this slide is to think of the different perspectives you can have when you're actually addressing a question regarding impact of IT. So we talked about what computers are good at: high speed, high volume numerical calculations, repetitive processes. They can be accurate, good for communication and collaboration. They store huge amounts of data, and they give people quick and inexpensive access to information which they can interpret quite quickly. So what they're good for is automating semi-automatic and manual tasks that are really repetitive. What's happening at the moment is we're seeing a massive rise in the capability of artificial intelligence. So we talked a few times and we mentioned Moore's law, how computers are getting faster and faster and more capable. As they get more and more capable, they become better at replicating some of the tasks that human beings do. And what human beings are really good at is learning. And computers are starting to do that. So traditionally computers did what they were programmed to do. Now they're capable of observing, reading and learning from their environment, which opens up a whole new set of tasks or capabilities that they can take on. So what you need to be aware of are the types of information systems. So we have the functional area information systems, like accounting systems, finance systems, HR systems, but we also have the large organizational level enterprise-wide systems, like the enterprise architecture programs, enterprise resource planning programs, transition processing systems, which span the entire organization and allow management to have a single view of the organization. So different types of support can be provided for different support for different people at different levels. So a clerical worker might be as simple as using Microsoft Word. A doctor might use an expert system that, if you put in the symptoms, it might come up with a number of possible potential diagnoses for the expert to consider. CEO might be supported by a dashboard or a digital dashboard, which tells them what the critical numbers in the organization are happening at any one time. So different people at different levels in the organization will have different levels of IT support. But it is important to think of, industries that have been disrupted by IT and changed by IT. So other things to consider on the impact of IT is, reducing the number of middle managers, making them more productive because they have more access to data, but which in turn reduces the number required. So you need to kind of to think quite a lot about the impact of IT on organizations, on people. Then there's a societal question. What's going to happen if all these jobs are automated? How are we going to survive? You're going to think about that. Will it be like the Industrial Revolution? Will it create more different jobs, or eventually will it result in an economic collapse? If Moore's law is followed through, for another 50 years, the suggestion is that computing power will be greater than, the brain power of the human race. So what are the implications of that? So other things to think about is health and safety, techno-stress. We talked about repetitive strain injury. Potential upside of IT is the opportunities it creates for people who've been locked out of the labour market. Things for people with disabilities, speech recognition, assisted reading for people who are visually impaired. All sorts of technologies can have positive impacts as well. IT makes us more productive, but does that come at a cost if the lines are blurred? So think also about the rise of robotics, and what impact does that have on the workforce? Okay, so that last section talked quite a lot about the impact, the changing nature of IT, the role of the impact of IT on organizations, and the impact of IT on people. In the next section, we're going to talk about business processes and the importance of them.